Hi friends, neighbors? No. Hi friends, strangers, internet. My name's EmilyHanhan. I love colorful makeup and colorful language. I am here today with a first impression makeup playtime featuring Drench Cosmetics. Now, if you don't know Drench Cosmetics, which I only knew tangentially of for the last couple of months, it's been a while. Has it been a while since I filmed? I don't know. I'm a mess lately. Join the club. Drench Cosmetics is a indie black-owned makeup brand and skincare brand owned by Josh, who also is known by Kelly King on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Now, I had been hearing about Drench Cosmetics here and there around the internets, and then I saw the roundtable that was hosted by Jen Loves Review with Audra, Josh, T of Nappy Headed Jojoba, Tina of the Fancy Face, and Alicia Kinky Sweat. And I was like, why the hell am I not following this dude? Like, again, I had heard about Kelly King because of Color Pop Me Black and all these different like ways, but I hadn't actually just like bought from Drench or even followed Josh, so I fixed all of those errors of my way. I had been looking at the Drench site for a little while, and a lot of things were out of stock. When he sneak peeked that he was bringing out a palette, so I got it. So I picked this up on pre-order, and while I was picking this out, there was a couple of things that I had already been looking at that were back in stock. So I have, it's not a full face of Drench. Welcome to Tyrion being Tyrion, y'all. I'm gonna let him do his thing. Anyway, so as I said, when I saw that Drench was releasing a palette, I thought, okay, this is great. Hopefully I can pick up a couple of things I was already looking at when I pre-ordered the palette. And luckily there were some things in stock. So what I ended up picking up is the Cosmic Oasis palette, which looks like this. I also picked up the Deep Space liner, which is kind of unexpected for me. It's a black liner, but I don't know. I was just like, you know what? I saw a lot of people saying good things about this. So I decided to pick it up. That's the actual liner, matte black packaging with the little Drench logo printed on. And to my knowledge, Drench is a pretty tiny indie brand. Like, I don't know beyond Josh, who works on the brand. So just putting that out there. I also got one of the lip glazes, I think it's called. Again, I think he's doing pretty damn well for packaging. I always love this black to product ombre. So this is like a gloss, although it's like a metallic gloss. And then I picked up a loose glitter for the hell of it. It's called Balian. It's the Specs glitter. And so the Balian Specs glitter has the like neutral peachy color with that holographic shine, which I put on some new nails. I didn't actually plan them to kind of coordinate as well as they do, but you know, tried to dress up a little bit for Josh. So I got the glitter. I don't know if I'm going to use this today. We'll see. I'm not sure how committed I am to glitter today, but I have been dabbling more in loose glitter over the last couple months because I want to. And then I also picked up the Olympia eye pigment, and then a little like coppery glitter I think was thrown in there for free. So my thoughts are, I want to try this out as like a concentrated like little face highlight, and then we have lips and eyes that we can play with. I'm actually going to go ahead and put on a little bit of this gloss because my lips are feeling and looking not their best. So that is the lip product. One thing I am missing, and it might have been on the box, but the color that I picked up is not on this. It's not labeled, so that's a little unfortunate. So this lip product, it feels like cushiony. Like, it doesn't feel super thin, and I think that's why I like it, even though it is metallic, and metallic lips and I are not maybe my favorite, but it feels like cushiony. Now, up close and personal on my dry, kind of needing to be exfoliated lips, not the best. Not the best looking. But from far away, it's pretty. And I do really like this color. And maybe later I will layer this over a lipstick to see how it looks. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay, now before I get into the other parts of the makeup, I wanted to thank Josh because he actually, well, first of all, he's been like super supportive. He shows up in some of the Legata live streams, like just been like a great cheerleader unexpectedly to me and to Audra and to other people, but like me personally, like thank you. I notice you. I appreciate you. And he's actually, Drench is actually the first ever brand that I have an affiliate code with and an affiliate link. I know. I saw they had an affiliates program, so I decided to apply. I figured, why the hell not? And, you know, he accepted me. So it's kind of weird. But also exciting. I mean, I still have full intention of being completely honest with my reviews, but I just wanted to let y'all know I do have a link. It's linked in the description box, and I have a code. My first ever code? Emily15 is the code, which gives you 15% off. And I'm pretty sure the whole point of the affiliate is that I make money if you use the link or the code. I'm not stupid, but sometimes I feel like it. So I wanted to like thank Josh and Drench for saying yes, because you could have easily just been like, oh, we're good for now, we're good. It's just cool to see like smaller creators and smaller brands support each other. Okay, so that's out of the way. Let's get into the eyes. Actually, I'm sorry. I'm going to put a little face highlighter on first. So I'm going to demonstrate how I use the Danessa Myricks Duet Balm with this. So this, the Olympia, I keep wanting to say Olivia. The Olympia Eye Pigment is listed as an eye pigment, but I touched it a little bit the other day, and I feel like it's a pretty, like, I would almost say like a finely milled glitter. I could be wrong. I do already have like glowy products down, but I'm gonna tap a little bit of the Duet Balm on like this spot on my cheek, which is my favorite like kind of pinpoint spot. And I have to applaud y'all for the packaging, because this has the closable spout, and I really appreciate that, because the worst, like the most annoying thing is to open up a jar of something and it's just everywhere. See that? Yeah, that's the pigment. This is Olympia. And he has a couple of different pigments, and I'm gonna infuse my highlighter brush with this glittery pigment, but I'll live. I need to wash my brushes anyway. So one thing I noticed, and just in case you've never worked with like a loose pigment, is sometimes it'll pick up on the brush a little unevenly depending on how it's dispensed. So that's why I just tap off, because it kind of helps like almost shake it through the bristle a little bit. I feel like that's like a glossy white gold. I'm not sure if I picked the best placement for it now that I see, but I do like how shiny it is. Oh wait, I think you can see it better on camera. Okay. So yeah, so that's without, or that's with Olympia, and without Olympia. It went on pretty easily. It picked up and laid down with the brush nicely. I do think having that like tacky base is pretty important, because I think without it, one, I think the texture of this, you might not get that high intensity glow. It might just look more like glittery on your face without that base, but with the base it kind of creates that shiny metallic, that whole like zone. Okay, yeah, the more I'm looking at it, the more I like that. Ooh. I'm gonna do a teeny bit of the balm here. Even though I wear glasses, I insist. Oh my god. Whoa! This is not for the faint of heart. Ooh. Oh. Okay, I don't know why it's so much more impactful for me to see it on my nose. It's like I was gilded by the gods, or the goddesses I should say. Okay, so not for the faint of heart, as you see. Ooh. And by the way, all these sounds I'm making, purely good sounds. Great sounds, like, actually. Okay. Olympia, I see you. I see you and I like you. And I'm kind of like taken aback by just how glossy glowy this is. I don't know if I already said it. This is not for the faint of heart. And obviously, if you wanted to like not put this on your face, this would be beautiful on the eyes, I bet. Somebody who's not totally drawn to white gold highlighters, if I'm gonna wear them, I want it to shine like this. Also, if it's not abundantly clear, like Drench has a very like cosmic kind of vibe to it, which I think is why so far everything I've tried kind of makes sense. The lip gloss, even though I'm not a metallic fan, I feel like it kind of fits with the aesthetic. This is obviously high fucking shine, like intense, you know. And then the eyeliner, I don't know if I said this before, it's called the Deep Space Liner. So I see your vision, Josh, I do. And I think the whole theme with this was kind of like sky, earth, and water. So like sunset, sunrise, and then the earthiness, and then the ocean. Now, I'm gonna be completely honest, of course. When I first saw this released, I was already ready to pick this up because it had been, you know, mentioned that he was releasing a palette, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna get that palette. And when I saw it released, when I saw it like revealed, I had a couple of like first impression thoughts. One, that's not really my go-to color story. Two, but I'm intrigued. Three, I do think some of the colors are a little bit repetitive. I do think that's kind of the case with some of the warmer tones. With palettes like this that have a slightly repetitive color story, sometimes it's all about working with them to see maybe why it's that way or how it feels for you. I'm gonna do some swatches on this arm. They're not gonna be live swatches. I'm just gonna do them and then show you, and so we can all see what we're working with. This palette does have the shadows named, but they're not printed in the palette. They came on a additional postcard. So I probably won't be referencing them by name, but I do quite love some of the, like, there's names like Supernova, which is the more pinky tone red, or Oasis, which is that beautiful blue shimmer, you know, Moonlight, which is the silver. So I do really like the naming. Now, this palette is $25. I feel like for 12 shades from an indie brand, I'm already pretty happy with it. And I understand how sometimes things get cut, like having the names printed on the packaging, because of the scale of the brand. So in an ideal world, future palettes, I would love to have the names printed on there. Just to quickly run through as well. The loose glitter is $4. The black deep space liner is $12. The meteorite, that's the name. The meteorite space glaze is $14, and the Olympia pigment is $10. So I think in terms of pricing, those are all pretty competitive. I would say if anything, maybe the gloss and the face pigment, I'm like iffy on that price point. But that's also because the metallicness of the gloss and the loose pigment is just not my, those are not my go-to formulas or colors. But again, I'm loving the feeling of this on my lips. It really doesn't feel like it's drying out. And I think that's the other thing, is that a lot of times when I would try metallic glosses, I felt like they would dry out my mouth, my lips a lot. But this one, I've tried it a couple times. I don't feel like it's doing that. But now we're gonna get into the eyes. And because this is a first impression, I think what I'm going to do is just have the look playing, and then I'll kind of talk through any thoughts that have come up once I do the look. So it feels so plushy on the lips. So I have finished my look. So let's talk through things. So with the Cosmic Oasis palette, I ended up using, actually, I think the only color I did not use in my look tonight is the pinky tone red. This color right here. I used the other 11 shades in this eye look. First of all, the first color that drew me into this palette and did not disappoint is the Swampy Green. That blended out like a dream. Whew. Seeing it up here like in a more intense color, I love it. I love it so much. The matte dark turquoise is a really nice shade. I feel like it blends pretty easily. I have a bit of a harsh line here, but that's because I went in with a dense brush rather than a fluffier brush. But I love how like the turquoise and the green kind of come together to create this like forest green. I don't think it's quite as like bam in color pigment as I was expecting from the pan. It's a little bit like more murky. I guess it in a way it blends out nicely, which is a good thing, but you're not always going to get that intensity of color. I also did get some fallout because I packed on just a little bit on top of the shimmer. Packed on a little bit of the matte blue on top of the shimmer and didn't dust off my brush. And so that's what we have happening here if you see any kind of blue cast. The blue shimmer, very pretty. The silver shimmer, also very pretty. My general thought with all of the shimmers is that they perform much better over glitter glue than they swatched. I will say that the silver feels a little bit flaky, so the glitter glue really helps it be a little bit more intense. The taupe and the gold, I think, just improve upon having that sticky base. Let's see. We kind of covered the bottom row of the palette. Okay, so let's move into this row. So y'all know I'm not like a metallic gold fanatic. It's a nice metallic gold. The black is actually an unexpected like top performer. So I was watching my friend Faye, who is a mod in the Gutta Discord and just an amazing like supporter and beautiful human being, and she was like raving about this palette like days in a row on her stories about how good it was, and she was talking about the black and how it was very blendable and buildable, and I have to agree with her. So on this eye I went in with I have the red down, and then I put black down, and then I put more red on top of it, and it really gave this nice like blackened kind of burgundy blackened red tone, which is not always my go-to look, but I think it works together really nicely. So yeah, will I use black in every look? No. Do I think this is like a nice, like kind of beginner friendly black shadow? Yes. It's not gonna look like, oh my goodness, it's the blackest black on the market, but that's also what makes it user friendly. The two more neutral shades definitely pulled very warm and a little bit red on me. That might be my fault with my brush though, because my brush was like cleaned with a clean towel and a color switch, but I feel like there might have been still a little bit of a red pigment on there. But I think in general, my biggest like concern are these two shades, because I think that they look very, very similar on the eye. There was moments when I was doing this eye where I couldn't even remember which of the two colors I dipped into, and so I just kind of like willy-nilly kind of dipped between them. So I think it's a pretty tone, and I only played with it in this little spot on the front of my eye, so it's not like a final thought, but I do feel like they're just a little close in color. This like neutral tone is fine. It blended out, you know, like a little bit of this the darker neutral just fine. The taupe is quite pretty. I like that it has like, I think it's one of those taupes that you're going to be able to successfully lean it cool tone and warm tone, because I think if you pair the taupe with the silver, you'll bring out that gray tone to it. But when I paired it next to the gold and with the red and the neutrals, it leaned a little bit more golden. And then the red is pretty damn pigmented. They do stain at least my fingers, like they stain where I've been swatching. I think that the red, both reds feel, you know what they feel similar to? They remind me a little bit of the Midas and Smoky Glow tones. Like, not the tones, I'm sorry, but the formula. I think this formula might be a little bit less pigmented, which but a little bit more blendable. But they have a similar feel to me from first impression. And I felt like this red, again, was blendable, but you could go back and continue to add to it. I'm curious to see over time if it's quite as like if I'm going to be able to get the pure intensity of the color in pan, but I felt like it's a pretty color and it seemed pretty easy actually to work with. So the fact that I could blend it with the black and I didn't feel too frustrated by it. I didn't like blow it out. I kind of left an obvious rounded shape, but I felt like that rounded shape wasn't too harsh. So I generally feel pretty positive about this palette. To review, do I feel like this color story is not completely Emily? I do. Do I see the vision with the kind of sky, earth, and sea? I also see that. I think there are still some repetitive tones in here, and I would love to see the shimmers go a little bit further. Push it a little, like a little more metallic, or like a little more glittery. But you know, if you've been around here, that I like the shimmers to be like, holy shit. So I think these are nice shimmers. I'm not getting like holy shit from these shimmers. So that's like my first impression thoughts. Obviously this is not a full extensive review, but I tried to touch on everything I could. As I've mentioned multiple times, I'm really loving the feel of this lip product, and Josh, I would love to see you do more of these glosses that are maybe a little less metallic. Like, could you do some cream versions of these with the same like delicious soft, like squishy, plushy texture? Yeah. The face pigment, or I guess the eye pigment, but my face highlighter, I would expect no less intensity. The eyeliner seems really nice. I was able to lay it down really thin against the lash line, which is nice, and then I made the wing, I guess it's felt tip. I don't know shit about eyeliners. My first impressions are overall very positive for Drench. And so here's the thing, when I think about a brand like Drench, especially once I've gotten the products, I've felt the packaging, I've seen the color stories, I've seen kind of what is being offered, Drench is one of those indie brands where I'm like, yes, I'm rooting for you. I see your vision, and like, it's just a brand that I want to get more, like I want to see it grow, and I want to see its fan base grow so that it can have the capital to like grow into like the true kind of vision of what I think Josh has for the brand. So like it's like one of my favorite thing is when I can look at a brand, especially an indie brand, and like see the vision. And I really do see it with all the themes of the products, with the names. I see it. So it's like I want to see Josh be able to push it further and do more and go bigger, because I know he has those, like, I'm making huge assumptions, but I know he has those dreams. I know he has that vision. If you see his makeup looks, if you see his overall aesthetic, like, it's there. The fact that you sold me Alone on a metallic lip gloss, that says a lot. Hopefully I'll have the like space to maybe I'll do like a big roundup follow-up of like eyeshadow reviews or something, anything that I've done a first impression on. We'll see. But specifically, if you would like to see more with this palette, let me know. I think this is going to be an amazing pairing palette, so that might be something I play with, like maybe a palette bingo or just a palette pairing, get ready with me. But yeah, let me know, did you pick up this palette? Did you pick up anything else from Drench? Do you like what you have so far? If you have any interest in buying anything from Drench, like I said, I do have an affiliate code and affiliate link. But y'all heard my honest thoughts just now. Like, it is what it is. Am I overall more partial to my indie brands and perhaps give them a little bit more leeway than I do mainstream brands? Absolutely. But I feel like I gave you as much information as I could from like a first use and some general thoughts about my feelings about the brands and the offerings and everything. On that note, if you enjoyed this video and you have not yet subscribed, I would love for you to follow along with all my colorful shenanigans. Thank you so much to my patrons. You'll make this whole YouTube thing just a little bit easier. So thank you for that. I appreciate every one of you. Thank you again to Drench for letting me join your affiliate program and for hopefully listening to my honest feedback about these products. Thank you again for spending a little bit of your day with me. I hope to see you again real soon. Bye, friends.